We're back. Welcome back to another episode of Too Skin to Scrap. My God, that was a bit of a hiatus, wasn't it? I don't know, I don't really have any excuses, to be honest. But I thought, if I don't push myself, I'm never going to get this bike finished. Never going to keep the content going for you guys. So here we are. Let's work out what we need to do. So I've been telling you for a long time that we're nearly at the end of this thing, and then I keep coming up with more and more things I need to do. So I got myself a whiteboard, and I'm going to go around the bike now, and we're going to make a list of everything that actually needs to be done. I can't get the wiring sit nice under that seat with the plastic shroud or the seat hugger or whatever you want to call it. Might as well make one that has all like little fittings, a little box for all the wiring to fit in. So let's get that bit written down. So first things first, make that under seat tidy. Next things, we've got to finish that rear hump, and we've got to finish making the cowl that goes around the rear seat. They're almost done. We just got to do a little bit more filler work, and then we can get that ready to paint. But before painting, I've got to make the under seat tidy. I've got to make a chain guard because my one's a plastic, rotten and old, and I'd like one that's metal and that I can paint to match the rest of the bike. I just think it'd be a cool little touch. I might even be able to work out some way of getting Too Skin to Scrap down the side of that, just as like a little feature that you won't really notice until you're really looking around the bike. So let's put that chain guard. We've got to seal up that exhaust. When I got it, somebody's obviously re-riveted it, or shortened it or something, but all them little holes where they pop riveted it, they all leak. So I'm going to drill all those those rivets out. I'm going to re-rivet it with some sort of high temperature, probably instant gasket. I think that would probably work the best. It will seal all the little holes. If I just put a little bead around before I put a pot rivet in, should seal that little bit and will just give us a nicer, cleaner look. Question for you guys is, do I carbon skin that tube of the exhaust before I put it all back together? I'd like to hear what you think in the comments below. Let me know whether you leave it stainless, because we can really clean that up and make that look nice and shiny, or do I carbon skin that, and obviously I'll go through the process with you. It's very time consuming. It would give you an idea of whether you want to do parts of your own in the future, but you're looking at 2 hours between coats of the resin. You're at least 4 coats of resin plus a pre-coat of black. If anywhere has little pinholes in the carbon fibre, it doesn't show up because it's black underneath. So let me know in the comments below what you reckon. Carbon fibre or stainless steel? I'll leave that one to you. We've got to finish up this wiring. So finish up the wiring. I think next, the tyre lettering. I've only done that one to give you guys a little pop of like what we're up to. And I did that one side of that one wheel, but I stopped doing it. And I've had other priorities on this since, but I really like just to get these tyre lettering finished up so we can all see how that lettering finally looks on the bike. Tyre lettering. We've got to polish the tank and, you know, do a few little touches up. It's so hard to remember everything you've got to do on a bike that's almost finished, but the list is getting longer. We've got to finish the foot pegs and make them nice and clean. The engine bolts aren't tight, and I've got a proper engine bolt to go in this front one that we lost at the beginning of the series. It's got the new spacers. I've got a full bolt, right length. Also the back bolts need tightening up. So I think we need to just go around this bike and actually make sure that all the nuts and bolts are all tight. Oh, I didn't think I'd be going on the other side of this one. Here we go, next page. Put the headlight back in. Some sort of bolt-on holder for the magnet in the wheel. And also there's a click. And I think the click when we spin the front wheel is from where the old Speedo mechanism is. So I might have to make up a spacer to go in there instead of the Speedo housing on the wheel. So let's get that written down. So headlight fitted. Speedo sorted. This is our list so far. I think if we just boss through everything on this, probably won't be in this episode unless you want to watch an hour long, but I don't think that's the case. I think the first thing right now, while I'm here at the bike, is to get that seat back off and to work out how I'm going to sort this rear hugger, you know, wheel guard. I'm going to make it out of metal. There's like a rubberized coating called Gravitax, which is basically an underbody coating, but it looks like rubber and it has like a textured effect. And I think it would just give it a real cool effect underneath and just sort of look factory plastic, but obviously it won't be. But we need some cardboard and we just need to work out where everything can clip on, go in, make a little box and all that out of cardboard. And we can take that back to the workshop. And from there, we can get it fitted and move on to the next thing. But now we've got our list. This is where we're at. So much for being near the end, but I'm glad you guys stuck around, and I'm hoping that you stick around for the rest, because I want to see the end of this bike, and I'm sure you guys want to see the end of this bike. And in the background, we've got the next thing being built. So stick around, let's go. Oh, so after that long intro about what actually we need to do on this, we're back at the workshop, and I need to finish this hump and side piece, under pump piece, for getting it ready to paint, really. I need to take off the pop clips, and we'll get another layer of the higher build short strand fiberglass filler. So I think it'll only need that last one. So let's do it. Let's do it.
Gonna sin again. fiberglass filler. Or I might just move on to normal filler now. That should be enough. So let's just do that. So with the guide coat, anywhere that's black is still low. So that's why I use this stuff. We've got a low spot here. This is all pretty low here and here. And we've definitely got a big low spot around here. I'll take the excess of this out somehow. There we go. So we'll file these out afterwards. I just want to get all these low spots, get them all straight. But we're not far off now. I definitely like it more than before.
Mad Samina. Soundz Familia. Drum and bass. Cool. Bad man thing, yeah. Watch out for me time. Turn it up loud. Watch out for me time. Road boy thing. Watch out for me time. Turn it up loud. Bad man thing, turn it up loud. Road boy thing, turn it up loud. Drum and bass thing, yeah, turn it up loud. Soundz Familia, we come here stuff around the crowd. Bad boy thing, turn it up loud.
Alright, now that's cured. I'm going to knock this back. Hopefully get this to be good flat now. But we will see, I suppose. Right, you've seen plenty of sanding. Let's try the old YouTube magic, and there you go, they're done. Yeah, definitely time for some primer. We'll get the inside as well. I need to knock this off here, which I'll do off camera. This is looking pretty solid now. I know it's pretty hard to see and understand, nice flat edges, but once we get some primer on this, you guys will get to see this finished. These are all ready for primer. We need to make a new chain guard, and we need to make the under seat cowl. So we'll move on to them bits now, and we'll come back to these when everything's ready for primer. We'll prime it all at the same time. So on to the next bit.
Soundz Familia, we come here stuff to rock the crowd. Bad boy thing, turn it up loud. Drum with it here, turn it up loud. Bad man thing, turn it up loud. Soundz Familia, come rock the crowd, loud. Mad stamina. Soundz Familia. Drum and bass, cool. To the man up on the rhythm and drop the lyrics well fine. A Soundz Familia become a stuff they blow your mind. And lyrics to them be
Right guys, I've got the seat hump and the under seat piece ready to go into epoxy primer. So I'm going to throw some epoxy on them now. Well, I think you guys can tell a little bit better the shapes we've got built into this. We found, you know, I think I've done a better job than I did last time, to be honest. So this all needs a good knock back. Find out if there's any more low spots. We have a bit hanging up here. Got a bit of an issue right there because the filler's dropped off. I knocked it off when I drilled it out. But I can feel that again, get it smooth, we do the fine coat. Lovely. We've got the hump sorted out, we've got the tailpiece sorted out, we've got to do the chain guard and we've got to do the undercowl. Some more fabricating. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. We need to get these bits done. They need to be in primer so that once we get everything ready to get sanded down, it's all there, it's all ready to go, it's all of the same point in the build. So I'm gonna fabricate these bits. I'm gonna do the chain guard first. I'm basically gonna copy the original and try and just mess around with it a little bit to make it an original. And then we're gonna make the part of the undercowl that we've made out of cardboard so far, maybe take it back to the bike and just check what the depth is we want on the middle section, so that we can make a triangle flap piece that goes round so we can join it all together and seal it up. So I'm going to start by drawing around this piece, flipping it over a little bit. I'm going to make some changes to it, but mostly just going to sort of copy this. We're going to make this into a curve rather than an angle change. And this has got like a little step just here. So I'm going to change that to just being like a 45 and a 45 to make it into a 90. Just give it a little bit more of a smooth look and just less overcomplicated. I'd like to keep this bit, and I might take this up to give this a bit more of a same angle change here. But let's draw around this first. Let's put the holes, just draw the holes in. We can work out exactly what we want. Flip it, and we'll work it out from there. You'll see as I'm
could have never set me shine. Hey boy, take a look up on your watch up every time. My brother here killing everybody, know me crime. Yeah, them see the sign and tell them I'm gonna say them blind. One test my sound, well you better join the line with them. One man, turn it up loud. Road boy, turn it up loud. Drum and bass, yeah, turn it up loud. Soundz Familia, we gonna stop to rock the crowd. Bad boy, turn it up loud. Drum with this beer, hey, turn it up loud. Bad man, turn it up loud. Soundz Familia, come rock the crowd. Bad man, turn it up loud. Road boy, turn it up loud.
We've got our basic shape templated out. I decided to put this back in because I don't know maybe something gets in the way of that, so I didn't want to get in the way of that. I don't know, I think that might be just a chip out of them. It looks very much like that's something that's been caught on that, so we're going to leave that bit. I'm going to perhaps bring this in a bit more, but we'll see. Let's just cut out this main shape. I've removed this corner so that we've got these two looking the same. But yeah, let's cut this out
We'll mark it up, we'll get it bent up, and we'll go from there.
They mostly come at night. Most. They mostly come at night. Most. They mostly come at night. Most. They mostly come at night. Most.
the shape. Got our little 45 there. Didn't come out too badly. See what I mean? We've got we've got a really nice sharp bend where I did the cuts. And that's just because it gives it, that's the easiest place for it to bend. That's why I put those little ones in there. But as you can see, it's not really made a difference inside. I think that'll be more than enough to deal with just the chain, really, innit? So we're going to bend these bits down now. Get my shrinker stretcher out. We'll bend these bits down. We'll make them look a bit nicer. But yeah, let's get the shrinker out and we'll do a bit of shrinking. I've just drawn this on. I'm going to cut this off now to give us like the final look, and then I'm going to take this back to the cut bike and check that it fits, but it's almost identical to the original, but I think it just looks better in metal. I'm not sure if I try and do 2 skint to scrap down the edge here. So yeah, I can, once I cut this edge, check it sort of works on the bike. We can paint this the same as the rest of the bike, and then we've got like a colour matched chain guard. So let's cut these bits off, and then we can make the seat cowl, under seat cowl bit from that wooden template. But that's just enough to be able to take it back to the bike, make sure we've got the bends in properly. There we go, let's go and try this on the bike, shall we?
I will never be caught, and I will never find your body.
So we'll have to make a little piece that goes in here, boxes this all in, but that's pretty much where we're going. Gives us a lot more space in here to put all our electrics. I can put some bits on here so that they stay on there nice, and obviously we'll coat it up and make it look pretty. But let's go back to the bike and we'll check that this and this both fit the bike. Alright, let's see how this bit fits. This. So we want to trim a little bit off these edges on both sides, not a lot. I think we're going to take this one back here, but then we can take that up to there, just give us a bit more space for the fuel tap. This side's fine, but maybe we just even them up anyway, and then we can just have a little triangle there. We're going to do it at that. Let's measure that and we'll work out from there. 50mm, we'll make the widest bit 50mm, and we'll do the same on both sides, and it just means everything fits in there a lot nicer. We can put this up here, we can put this here, we can put these on there. This goes on its original mounting point. I'm going to take a little bit out of here for the brake reservoir, and then we'll get this bit all welded up and we'll make it into a nice solid piece. Paint this one black. Right, let's just check that other one. See this one too well, but it's just a matter of we need to take a little bit of this off just so we can get it to line up nicely, but the rest is pretty good. And this gap here is actually for the wheel, so I might even take that in a bit more just so we've got plenty of space for the wheel to move around. But yeah, that's worked out pretty well. I'm very happy with that. Very happy with the other bit. We'll go back to the workshop, we'll finish making that panel up, and we'll call that an episode, I think. Well, now we're back at the workshop with this part. I'm going to put it up against the old part, and we're going to trim it all down so it matches this profile, maybe even bring it in a bit more. And then we've got to do this 50mm drop and remove this bit. I think I'm going to try and just curve this down a little bit so that it has a bit of a curve down, a bit of a smoother contour for the wiring to come up to. So let's start off, we'll put this on here, try and trim this down, I'll draw it out with a pen to get this all matchy, and we can cut these down.
I think there were monsters under my bed, but I told myself these monsters are all in my head. Now, all of these monsters are all in my head, and all of these monsters make me see monsters, make me see monsters. I used to think there were monsters under my bed, but I told myself these monsters are all in my head. Now, all of these monsters are all in my head, and all of these monsters make me see red. All of these monsters make me see red. All of these monsters, I get put through my paces on a daily basis by different faces in different places. They drive me crazy. Now it's getting dangerous because the stage is too my radar.
Yeah, that's a much better fit now.
To put some dents in. Did I fail to mention that my brain is under tension?
It's just an old piece of hardened steel that I've cut line into, but it means you can get up as far as that and just gently bend along. So I'm going to try and put a little bit of a bend in this section, so this comes up like this, and then we've got.
There'll be no preventing when I launch in your direction. I'm a monster. Since I was a little toddler, this devil that's inside of me's the ugliest of monsters. Makes me want to go.
Right, we need 2 bits to match this profile and come straight down here. About 50 mil in between there and there. This piece needs to stay straight, but once we get this profile, we can match that and really bring that down so it fits to this piece. So we'll have a little curve down, little rounded bit on the ends, flat here. So let's make those 2 triangles with a flat piece that goes there. Little bit. Let's go.
You should go and check your shit outside and cup of coffee. There is no way in this world you will stop me. I got the ravens going mad. You talking to me or are you chewing the paving slab? You talking to me or are you chewing the paving slab? I got the ravens going mad. Monsters under my bed, but I told myself these monsters were all in my head. Now all of these monsters are all in my head, and all of these monsters make me see monsters. Used to think there were monsters under my bed, but I told myself these monsters are all in my head. Now all of these monsters are all in my head, and all of these monsters make me see red. I'm gonna have to warn you, cuz you don't wanna go to war with us. The sound of the crowd are applauding us to make you sweat more than a fucking sword does. Fortunately, I'm raw enough to perform here with a fucking balls of a bite of a shark, I'm a bite off your bars of a crumble. Your jaws to dust, I'm roaring it in the warlord erupt. I'm haunted by the force of the torture ones who come forth completely raw enough to be a horse and lord, the lord of us. Swing swords with force and sorcerers. Tell tall stories and we call you bluff and distort to a force of a war to a force is causing you to be cautious of. There were monsters under my bed, but I told myself these monsters were all in my head. Now all of these monsters are all in my head.
That's the old one. This is the new one. It gives us a lot more space, as you can tell, underneath the seat. We'll have plenty of space for the wheel. This is all ground back. Bit of seam sealer just to finish these bits off. And then she's ready for some prime and some underseal to make it black. So yeah, I'm happy with that. And once it's coated, once it's painted, it will look a lot nicer. Well, I think we got quite a lot done in this episode. Thanks for sticking around. If you made it to the end, maybe comment, it clearly isn't finished, or something like that, just so I know you stuck through to the end. But I think that's it. Another episode with 2 skint to scrap. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave us a comment. Subscribe if you're not already. Thanks to the over 200 people that have subscribed already and stuck around for the build. I promise we won't leave it so long next time till the next episode. We've got plenty to be getting on with. So, see you next time, guys. Thanks very much.